Breaking news this afternoon, authorities in Florida returned to a man's home after they believe the body of his missing fiance was discovered out west. And new data from Pfizer about tests involving the company's COVID-19 vaccine and children ages 5 to 11.
And the rain is already beginning to move on through. I'll be having the timeline and how much you can expect coming up.
WYFF News 4 at noon is next.
Live, local, breaking news. This is WYFF News 4 at noon.
An investigation continues at Lake Hartwell after a toddler's death over the weekend. The investigation into the disappearance of an internet personality returns to Florida home after a discovery in Wyoming. We're starting this afternoon with our weather. Many of us have already seen rain today, as you can see from our Hilton Greenville Skycam. Clouds still hanging over our area. Unfortunately, it's been one of those Mondays. Meteorologist Sydney Sullivan joining us now. Is there more rain on the way?
Yes, this is actually just the start of the rainy, wet pattern that we're going to see the next several days. And across most of our western counties, you can see we're already starting to see this rain lift in from the south, lifting northward, and it's almost remaining stationary at this point. So really from Pickens towards Walhalla, Clemson, Anderson, Hartwell, Elberton, you're all dealing with the rain outside right now. Greenville likely getting grazed here shortly, but we're still going to continue to see scattered showers and even the possibility of a few thunderstorms throughout the next several days. Now, looking at the rainfall so far, just in the last 24 hours, we've got a few spots north of Walhalla and south of Franklin that are already picking up over an inch of rain, and we are going to continue to add on to that, especially as we get into later today and into tonight. I expect that rain to really begin to pick up. Now, timing things out through the rest of the afternoon and into the evening, rain chances picking up, temperatures topping out in the upper 70s, but the moisture still building in with humidity levels on the high side. But coming up, I'll be mapping out how long this sticks around and really quite the changes that we're going to see to follow.
Thank you, Sydney. We're following breaking news out of Florida. Authorities are at the home of Brian Laundrie, the fiance of Gabby Petito. She's been missing for weeks, and authorities believe they found her body over the weekend in Wyoming. Now, Laundrie has been identified as a person of interest, and authorities are searching for him within a Florida nature reserve. Here's the very latest from Wyoming.
Not far from here is where investigators discovered that body that they believe belongs to 22-year-old Gabby Petito. Forensic teams are still on scene trying to positively identify her and also the cause of death. Of course, Petito went missing several weeks ago. Her fiance reported her missing on September 11th, 10 days after he returned home in Florida after a cross-country trip where she did not return from. Investigators are also trying to talk to her fiance, Brian Laundrie, who, citing the advice of his lawyers, has not spoken to detectives. The search for Laundrie continues in Florida. Meantime, here in Wyoming, investigators say over the next 24 hours, they'll likely be able to positively identify Gabby Petito and also help determine a cause of death. Back to you.
Also breaking this afternoon in Texas, one police officer has died, another one injured in a shooting in Houston. That's according to the city's mayor. Authorities said that the incident happened around 7:30 this morning. That's local time at an apartment complex. Officials said the officer with the Houston Police Department, they were serving a warrant in Harris County when the shooting happened. Authorities also said one possible suspect was killed at that scene. In Asheville, an early morning shooting injured a child. Police say that the shooting happened around 6:15 Sunday morning at the apartment complex on Bingham Road. Police say that someone shot at the building, hitting two apartments, and a child in one of those was injured by broken glass. If you have any information about the shooting that can help officers, you're asked to contact Asheville Police Department. Well, the death of a toddler on Lake Hartwell is under investigation this afternoon. The coroner says 19-month-old Charlotte Scott of Toccoa died Sunday. County emergency management crews responded to a report of a drowning that was near Tabar boat ramp in Westminster. They say that Stevens County, Georgia officials requested help there. An autopsy will be conducted by the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. We'll continue to update you on this story as it develops. Turning to our coverage of COVID-19 this afternoon, Pfizer has announced that its COVID-19 vaccine is safe and effective for children aged 5 to 11. Pfizer says that the data collected by the drug maker along with its German partner BioNTech shows children developed COVID-19 fighting antibodies on a level equal to teenagers and young adults after 2 shots. Now, the doses used for those shots were about a third of what adults are given. Pfizer now plans to use this data to seek approval from U.S. regulators to begin offering vaccinations to children in that age group. Happening tonight, the Asheville City Board of Education will vote on whether to continue requiring masks for all students and staff. They're required, to take up this issue monthly. We'll let you know what they decide. The South Carolina Sheriff's Association says it does not have the authority to enforce President Biden's plan to fight COVID-19. President Biden announced his intent to vaccinate more Americans earlier this month. The plan requires employers with more than 100 employees to mandate COVID-19 vaccinations or test weekly. Nearly 55% of Americans are fully vaccinated. Greenville County Sheriff Hobart Lewis says the statement is not about the vaccine. It's about the idea of a mandate.
We have the Constitution that was created to protect us from that overreach, and as sheriffs here in the upstate and throughout the state of South Carolina, we're not standing for that.
Sheriff Lewis and the Sheriff's Association says that a federal order would likely have to be enforced by OSHA, the agency under the Department of Labor. The U.S. will ease up on foreign travel restrictions starting in November. The Biden administration will require all foreign travelers who are flying into the country to be fully vaccinated. Those travelers will need to show proof of vaccination before boarding and will also need proof of a negative COVID-19 test taken within 3 days of the flight. The investigation continues this afternoon into a deadly shooting in Anderson County. The coroner says 24-year-old Shaquan Kennard of Anderson died. Deputies say he was shot at least once on the 1400 block of West Market Street. It happened around 3:45 Sunday morning. Anyone with information is asked to call the sheriff's office. Union County deputies are searching for an armed robber who targeted a Dollar General. It happened just before 8:45 Sunday night at the store on Post Office Road. That's in Jonesville. They say a man with a gun approached a store clerk that was on break and demanded that she give him her car keys. Then he walked back into the store with the clerk at gunpoint and demanded money from registers, ran off with cash. Deputies have not released a description of that suspect just yet. Right now, the search continues for a missing young man in Abbeville County. 23-year-old Adam Harvey was last seen on September 11th. His family says that Adam has special needs. He disappeared from his grandmother's home. It was on Mount Carmel Road. His family tells us that he was wearing a gray shirt with neon green lettering, black jeans, and either gray or brown slip-on shoes. He's 6'1". Deputies ask if you've seen him or have any information to call Abbeville County Sheriff's Office. That number is at the bottom of your screen right now, 864-446-6000. Right now, some customers of Spartanburg Water need to boil their water before drinking it or even cooking with it. The agency issued a boil water advisory on Sunday afternoon. It affects certain parts of New Cut, Mount Zion, Mitchell, John Dodd, Jordan Creek, and Campground Roads. You can find the specific areas on our website, WYFF4.com. Spartanburg Water says there's no confirmed contamination as of right now, but they're still asking customers to boil water for at least 1 minute. Well, still ahead, federal officials are working to return thousands of migrants to their home after they gathered at a U.S. border. Dozens injured when a tour bus crashes. Now investigators want to know what caused that driver to leave the roadway.
Well, it's going to be a rainy couple of days. We do have the potential for some flooding. I'll be timing out the rain and what you can expect here coming up.
North Carolina police are investigating a deadly shooting at a college campus, but officials say it did not involve students. 2 men were shot at a parking deck at the North Carolina Central University. That's in Durham. Officials placed a nearby stadium where the university's football team was actually playing. It was on lockdown. The men later died at the hospital. No word yet on what led up to this shooting, but officials are looking for a car connected to the shooting. 6 people are dead and more than 20 others are injured after a shooting at a university in central Russia. It happened at Perm State University today. According to the university, a gunman entered the campus and began opening fire at people on the street. Officials say 28 people are injured. The accused shooter has been arrested. U.S. border officials are trying to control the influx of migrants at the southern border. About 14,000 migrants have set up a makeshift camp under a bridge in Del Rio, Texas. Most are from Haiti. Border Patrol officials say that they have removed 3,400 people just in the past 2 days. The Homeland Security Secretary plans to travel to the border.
We are extraordinarily vigilant in addressing this situation, and we will address it successfully. It is challenging, it is heartbreaking, but we are addressing it.
Border Patrol officials say it could be about a week before all the migrants are moved either to other processing centers or back to their home country. In Washington, time is running short for Democrats to pass key parts of President Biden's agenda. On their to-do list, passing an infrastructure bill and a much larger social spending plan. All of this while trying to keep the government from shutting down. Chris Pallone has more from Capitol Hill.
For congressional Democrats hoping to deliver President Biden some key legislative victories, it's crunch time.
This is an astounding workload. We have so many issues in September, including reconciliation, including debt limit, including spending by the government.
As leadership tries to keep all Democrats on board to pass a bipartisan $1 trillion infrastructure improvement bill and a separate $3.5 trillion package of tax and spending priorities, a fight with Republicans to keep the government open and to raise the nation's debt limit appears to be intensifying.
Let me be crystal clear about this. Republicans are united in opposition to raising the debt ceiling.
Congress has raised the nation's debt ceiling more than 75 times since 1960. It allows the federal government to finance spending already passed. In a letter to colleagues Sunday, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi quoted experts who warned letting the nation default on its debt would be a catastrophe.
The position that Republicans, primarily Senator Mitch McConnell, have taken is totally irresponsible.
But Republicans see it as a way to send a message that they're not on board with Democrats' big budget spending priorities.
This time, Democrats want to increase the debt ceiling for their reconciliation bill, which they're passing on a party line basis.
Congress must also pass a spending bill by month's end to avert a government shutdown. Chris Pallone, NBC News, Washington.
Dozens were injured after a charter bus veered off of a Pennsylvania highway and it crashed into the woods. This happened yesterday afternoon. Police say that the bus driver lost control, went down a hill, and then blew through a guardrail. The driver then hit an embankment and traveled about 50 yards into the woods there. Now, troopers say 32 people were taken to the hospital. 5 of them are said to be in critical condition. A firefighter was also treated for some minor injuries. No word yet on what exactly caused that driver to lose control, but the bus was carrying youth church members and volunteers. An investigation underway in Texas after a Navy training aircraft crashed into a neighborhood outside of Dallas yesterday morning. Now, the instructor and student on board were able to eject. The crash rained debris at least 3 homes, damaging those homes. But the Fort Worth Fire Department was able to quickly get that blaze out. And it's believed that the flight actually originated from the international airport there. 3 wildfires are burning in California's Sequoia National Park and Forest. The lightning strike sparked the Windy Fire on September 9th, and at last check, this was it scorched at least more than 23,000 acres there, and just only 4% contained. The fire is threatening giant sequoias and redwoods in that national forest. Meanwhile, in South Lake Tahoe, people are starting to pick up the pieces after a fire. They are devastated the community.
You know that we have a strong community, and then with that strong community, let's move forward to better days.
As more locals and tourists return to the area, business owners are doing what they can to let people know that they're not alone. Lava from Spain's La Palma volcano burned houses today and forced thousands to be evacuated after yesterday's eruption. Local officials said that the lava flow has destroyed about 100 houses so far. This is the island's first volcanic eruption in 50 years.
Well, the week is starting out on the wet side and the cloudy side. We're already starting to see a few spots, especially some of our more western counties already add up as far as rainfall totals go, and more is on the way. But as you can see, really from Greenville pushing eastward, mostly dry, as well as northeastward, but most of the rain as of right now is hanging towards Pickens, Walhalla, Cullowhee, Franklin, stretching down to Hartwell and Elberton. But we're not done yet. We are still going to see this wet pattern stick around through about midweek, so scattered showers and storms continuing, and we will gradually add on the rainfall totals to that as well. Additionally, we have a cold front that arrives on Wednesday. This is going to bring us another round of scattered showers and storms, but following this, we have a great stretch of weather. Cooler and brighter conditions return as we get towards Thursday, Friday, and into the weekend. So certainly going to feel like fall by this point. Just got to get through the next couple of days, and then you can feel that fall-like air. Now, mapping things out for this afternoon, still going to see scattered showers and storms. These are going to be on and off, not complete washout for the rest of the day, but in and out of some showers and storms. And then as we get into the later part of the evening and into the overnight, notice we start to see the rain really begin to pick up, likely impacting your morning commute tomorrow. And by this point, we could see some localized ponding on the road, so do take it slow tomorrow morning. But even as we get into tomorrow afternoon, still looking at scattered showers and storms periodically throughout the day. Now, looking at rainfall totals from now through Wednesday, higher amounts here in the orange and red. This could be anywhere from 3, maybe 4 inches of rainfall. So this is primarily going to be towards the mountains. Lesser amounts further south you go and the further north you go. But I'm thinking, generally speaking, we're looking at 1 to 2 inches with localized amounts higher. Now, the tropics are busy this time of year. We have 3 systems that we are tracking. We've got Tropical Storm Peter, looks to keep this northward turn as we get into later this week, and that's actually due to that cold front that is going to steer this system away. Following Peter, we've got Tropical Storm Rose continuing northwest at 16 miles per hour, and all models are in pretty good agreement that this too system will stay out into the Atlantic, not impacting the U.S. at this point. But following Rose, yes, we've got a third system we need to watch. It's coming off the coast of Africa for over the next 5 days. We've got a pretty good chance that this will develop. It will be a gradual development, but as it does continue moving westward, we could see this become a tropical depression over the next few days. So lots to watch there, but at least for us, the next couple of days, scattered showers and storms, temperatures staying in the 70s. However, it is going to be quite sticky out. We could see some localized flooding, so we do have impact days issued today through Wednesday, but by Thursday, things clear out and we see the sunshine return with those fall-like temperatures topping out for several days in the 70s, but a few days could be waking up in the 40s and 50s.
All right, thank you, Sydney. Well, still ahead, we have a preview of The Voice as it returns for a new season tonight. And coming up this afternoon at 2, it's the Kelly Clarkson Show. And then at 3, it's Ellen, followed by WYFF News 4 at 4. Taking a look at the stocks this afternoon, all 3 major indexes are down right now. Right now, the Dow is down more than 600 points. SpaceX founder Elon Musk has helped St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital reach its $200 million fundraising goal. He pledged $50 million in response to a public call for donations following the successful splashdown of SpaceX's Dragon capsule. Billionaire Jarek Isaacman personally financed the Inspiration 4 mission as a fundraiser for St. Jude's Children's Hospital. The crew continued fundraising for the Children's Hospital by auctioning off some of the items that they took into space, including signed collectibles. Well, the fall TV season starts tonight on NBC. The Voice is back with a brand new coach, Ariana Grande, and it's followed by a new drama, Ordinary Joe. Now, Mark Barger has a look at the connection between the two.
The Voice's blind auditions are all about choices. And this season, artists have a new coach to consider, Ariana Grande.
It was so nerve-wracking, but it was amazing and exciting. Nerve-wracking, but like in the best way.
Looking great with this filter.
The pop sensation has 250 million Instagram followers. But the self-proclaimed king of The Voice.
Can we have a different studio audience, please?
Is still confident he'll get the singers he wants.
I'm nervous for the other two. That artist may gravitate towards Ariana. I know that if I'm in the mix, she probably doesn't have a chance.
Who do you pick as your coach?
And from that choice,
what if I followed in my father's footsteps?
It's life-changing choices in the new drama, Ordinary Joe.
What if I married my best friend?
James Wolk plays 3 different variations of the same man.
What if I asked out that girl I just met?
Whose life plays out differently based on one pivotal decision.
And the idea that had I made that choice differently when I was younger, I would have a totally different life.
A different life not only for Joe, but the people around him.
The same person who I could be married to in one story is just a friend, or married to a friend of mine in another story.
Making for a Monday of choices for an Ordinary Joe. And some singers far beyond ordinary. Mark Barger, NBC News.
The Voice starts tonight at 8 o'clock, followed by Ordinary Joe at 10 o'clock, and you can watch it all right here on WYFF 4. Let's take another quick look outside. This is from our Hilton Greenville Sky Camera. We'll be right back with one more check on this weather.
Well, the rain is continuing the next several days. We do have the potential for flooding, so we have issued impact days Monday through Wednesday. But by Thursday, the sunshine returns and our temperatures begin to cool down.
Thank you so much for watching WYFF News 4 at noon. Be sure to join us back here this afternoon, live at 4 for all of the day's top stories. Remember, we're always on WYFF4.com and right on your cell phone on the WYFF4 app. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day.